The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Swear the testimony you're about to give before this commission will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I hope you got it.
Yes.
State your name, please.
My name is Karen Ladd. I'm Assistant Secretary of State.
Thank you, Ms. Ladd. Can you walk through what your job duties are with the Secretary of State's office?
I work in the Elections Division, and part of my duties are accepting filings for the candidacy for president.
And how did someone in the state of New Hampshire get on the presidential primary ballot? Can you explain what the requirements are and what the process is?
Right. Every candidate needs to file the declaration of candidacy as spelled out in the statute RSA 65547 and pay a $1,000 filing fee.
And what statute is the $1,000 filing fee?
655:48.
And how are those statutes enacted, if you could just briefly?
They're enacted by the New Hampshire legislature.
Can you explain whether or not, let me rephrase that, were you aware of the filing for president, filing to be on the presidential primary ballot by President Barack Obama?
Yes.
And were you present when the Declaration of Candidacy was filed?
Yes. The Declaration of Candidacy was filed by Vice President Biden on October 20th. And I have a copy of it here.
And I believe members of the commission do have a copy of that, with a copy of the check in the back. And did Vice President Biden bring something else to the Secretary of State's office that day besides the President's signed Declaration of Candidacy?
He brought a check
And what was that check for, the amount of?
for $1,000, which is the filing fee.
And who accepted the Declaration of Candidacy when Vice President Biden came in?
He handed them to Secretary of State Gardner.
And then can you explain to the commission what the process is once those documents have been submitted? How you go from that point to the point of somebody's name appearing on the presidential primary ballot?
Well, once the declaration is filed, we make sure that the form is complete and the fee is paid and it complies with the law. And we move ahead with putting the name on the ballot.
And who makes that decision?
All final decisions are made by Secretary Gardner.
And have you had an opportunity to review the Declaration of Candidacy form filed by President Obama?
Yes.
And in your opinion, does it conform with the statutes that you referenced, RSA 655-47 and RSA 655-48?
Yes.
And is this the same type form that President Obama would have filed 4 years ago when he ran for president?
Yes.
Do you have any other information with regards to how a person gets on the presidential primary ballot, particularly President Obama, that the commission would need to know?
No, it's just the form and the fee.
Does the form require that the candidates or potential candidates submit proof of their citizenship or a copy of the birth certificate?
No, it does not.
So all the other individuals who have filed to become president, whether it's on the Republican presidential primary ballot or the Democratic presidential primary ballot, have not had to show proof of citizenship or submit a birth certificate?
That's correct. I did not.
Are candidates required to submit or fill out their social security number on the Declaration of Candidacy forms?
No.
I'm going to ask you again, is there anything about President Obama's Declaration of Candidacy that does not comply with RSA 655-47?
No.
Is there anything with President Obama's $1,000 check that does not comply with RSA 655-48?
No.
And were both of these documents filed in person during the filing period this year?
Filed in person by Vice President Biden, yes.
I don't have any further questions. If the committee may have some questions.
I would like to call the witness, please.
We're ready then?
Good day, Ms. Myers. I'd like to ask you a question. I was born in the Soviet Union. If I were to bring to you a signed piece of paper saying that I'm qualified and I would give you a check for $1,000, would you put me on the ballot?
If you filled out the Declaration of Candidacy and, which is required by our state law, and paid the fee. And if there were no challenges made, yes.
Very good. So you see, if there were no challenges made. Now, if somebody were to come and state, Ms. Taitz is lying, she's committing fraud, and she is submitting a forged document, there is a challenge, what do you do then?
I would refer the question to our legal counsel,
And who's your legal counsel?
the Attorney General's office.
Is he here?
So that would be okay.
Are you the Attorney General?
Assistant Attorney General.
Okay. When,
Ms. Lance on the stand, not
okay.
your legal counsel.
Okay, when you forwarded my complaint to the Assistant Attorney General that shows evidence of fraud and forgery, I'm sorry, what's your name, sir?
Assistant Attorney General Matt Mavage.
Mr. Mavage, sorry. What did you do?
We presented it to the Ballot Law Commission for the...
No, before the commission. You said that if somebody provides a challenge, if you challenge, say there is fraud, there is forgery, what do? You said if there is a challenge, then you don't put on the ballot, right? You said if there is a challenge, then you wouldn't put on the ballot, right? If there is a challenge, you go to your Attorney General. You provided this gentleman with 85-page complaint showing fraud and forgery. What did he do?
We should have to ask him.
But he did not do anything. Basically covered it up, swept under the rug, right? Nothing was done by him, right? And that's your Assistant Attorney General of the state. You're really in good hands, are you? So what did you say? When you gave him this complaint, 85 pages showing fraud after fraud after fraud, forgery after forgery after forgery, what did he do about it? What did this man do about it?
Well, you can ask him what he did.
But did he give you any papers? Did he give you any papers saying you cannot put him on the ballot, or did he tell you you can put him on the ballot? What was the response?
I think her testimony was that it was going to the Ballot Law Commission, which is a perfectly appropriate thing when they can't make it.
Okay, so basically what you are saying, that your whole testimony means nothing. It meant nothing, because you said your testimony is good if...
You're testifying.
I mean,
You're arguing.
Let me just understand. Let me clarify. So can I please clarify?
You can do that by asking questions and not
Yes.
making arguments. Yes.
So what you said right now, that everything that you said to Mr. Papa George, to this gentleman, your whole testimony was not related to this case, because you said that's when there is no challenge. In this case, there is challenge. So everything that you were testifying with him right now, that's not related to this case, right?
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, let's do it in small portions. You were saying that Mr. Obama's application was good, or in general, application is good, if the form is filled out and there is a check for $1,000, if there is no challenge, right?
I did say that.
Okay, and in this case, you got an 85-page complaint, a challenge, right?
And it's before this commission.
Okay, so basically, it was not decided yet. The commission needs to decide if there is a challenge, then the fact that he filled out a piece of paper and gave
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.